The King and the Mason. There was once a king. He wanted a big temple near his palace, and in a month his engineers built one for him. The temple had a beautiful dome. At the end of the month, the engineers came to him and said, "Sir, your temple is ready." The king and all his ministers went with them to see the new temple. The king climbed a rope ladder and stood on the top of the dome. He looked at the building and was pleased. He liked the fine work of his mason. Then he looked down and became very afraid. He was more than 100 feet from the ground. His face became pale and his legs began to shake. "I can never get down," he said to himself. A mason was standing a few yards away from the king. He said to himself, "The king is afraid. His face has become pale and his legs are shaking. His heart will stop beating or he will fall down from the dome. I will save his life." He came to the king and started shouting at him. He shouted, "You are the biggest fool in your kingdom. You are a coward. The rope ladder is there. Can't you go down this ladder? Why did you come up then? Shame on you." The king was very angry. His legs stopped shaking and his face became red with anger. He picked up a hammer to beat the mason, but the mason ran down the ladder. The king ran down the ladder after him. The mason reached the ground and ran away from the temple. The king reached the ground and his ministers and engineers came and stood around him. The oldest minister said, "The mason is not a bad man, sir. He has not insulted you. He abused you to save your life. He saw your pale face and so he abused you. He made you angry with his bad words, and then you ran down the rope ladder after him. He is a clever man." Then the king understood everything. He called the mason and gave him 1,000 rupees.